What is up, everyone? Welcome back for another video. A couple weeks ago I was wasting time on Facebook and I happened across a Facebook post on a kayaking group that said, what are the top 3 skills to go from kayaking class 3 to kayaking class 4? And there was a ton of good comments in this thread, and I was got me thinking, what are some good skills to go from class 3 to class 4? What do you need to know? What do you need to be good at? What do you need to be thinking about? And there was a lot. There was way more than 3 things that came to my mind right away, and I thought, well, this would be probably a good series of videos. So I'm going to try and put a bunch of videos together on this topic with kind of some tactical advice for things you can work on to start improving your kayaking, with the goal of moving from paddling class 3 comfortably to paddling class 4 comfortably. So first off, what's the difference between class 3 and class 4? The 2 main differences we're thinking about usually are technical difficulty, so the difficulty of the move as you're going downstream, and the increased consequences, or what could happen if something goes wrong. How much more severe will it be in terms of risk of accident, injury, death, etc. So there's a number of skills we need to think about and a number of kind of like mindset skills that we can practice to get ourselves into being ready for that. And just a little disclaimer before we get started, just because you have some of these skills do not necessarily mean that you're totally good to go, and you do need to make your own decision and be careful about that. Whitewater kayaking obviously is inherently a kind of a dangerous sport, so you need to keep that in mind and make safe decisions that are right for you, not just because a video on the internet says they're right for you. Okay, moving on. A lot of the skills I'm going to be talking about are little small pieces, incremental changes that you need to make, which are going to add up to a whole picture, making you a better kind of team member, and that is going to add up to you being a better kayaker overall, right? Because whitewater kayaking is inherently a team sport. Although you're in your own kayak, if you're not being a good team member, if you're not adding to the team, then you're probably taken away from it. And kind of everyone needs to be good for you to be progressing. So it's kind of like, how do they say it? A rising tide lifts all boats, right? So we all need to be thinking about that. Like, what am I doing to help the team out? And so this week, the first thing we're going to think about is getting in and out of your kayak. And if getting out of your kayak looks like this, you're probably not ready to be progressing your kayak to harder kayaking, right? Because being able to get out of your boat quickly, efficiently, and sometimes in very challenging places is a really key skill as your kayaking progresses. You are going to need to be able to scout more, you're going to need to be able to portage more, you're going to be able to set safety a lot more, and so you're going to need to be efficient and safe at getting out of your boat in more challenging places, and maybe even having people help you get out of your boat in challenging or difficult places. So how do I get better at getting out of my boat in difficult places? Well, it starts off like you've got to practice getting in and out of your boat more. And so the easiest way to start this and start building this skill is literally just to start making time in your river days on easy stuff, on easy kayaking that you're doing. Take an eddy, pop your spray deck off, hop out of your boat nice and efficiently and effectively, hop back in your boat, get yourself back kind of spray deck on, ready to go, and then make time and then peel out and go downstream. Now, making time to do this is obviously going to add time onto your day, even if you're getting really quick and it's only taking you 20 seconds to get out, 20 seconds to get back in, or 10 seconds, that's all going to be time adding up onto your day. So do check with the people you're paddling with, express to them that this is something you want to do some deliberate practice on. And over these next few episodes, I'm going to be talking about this idea a lot of deliberate practice. Like, make time, set yourself a goal before you go down the river and say, today I'm going to try and catch 5 eddies and get out of my boat and get back into my boat. And that might just add up that you're going to scout 5 extra rapids that you hadn't scouted before, or you're going to make time to do that. You want to start off nice and easily and make these incrementally more challenging, but also keep in mind that you don't have to do it in a spot which is like very dangerous, very high consequence. You can start with just getting in and getting out. And then as you progress and get smoother and more effective and more efficient of climbing out and climbing back in with your boat in the water, or from sliding in from a seal launch. As you get more effective, you can start to ramp this up into more challenging places, more challenging places, more challenging places. You don't have to start at the most challenging place on your local run, but you can build up to there, right? And the same goes for getting back into your boat, whether that's going to be sliding in from like a seal launch from the bank, if that's appropriate in the area where you live or the rivers you mostly practice on. This skill of being able to get back in your boat is something that's really critical, and especially as the difficulty of whitewater gets more and more, you might find you're portaging a lot more, you're scouting a lot more. You just have to make your way back into the river from the shore, wherever that is. And the less time it takes you to do that, the more effective you're being as part of the team, right? Like if you're helping set safety, you don't want to have everyone waiting for you while you take an hour to get back into your boat. And equally, you don't want to be waiting for someone a really long time while they're getting back into their boat. So it all adds together to help make your overall kayaking game stronger. And it sounds silly, but there's lots of these small things about how quickly you get in and out of your boat, and how you can do it in difficult places, and how quickly you can scout a rapid and decide if you're good to go or not, or if you're going to help the team by setting safety or whatever it is. You need to just be able to make all these small 1% changes are going to add up to a big difference, but it takes deliberate practice. So my challenge for you this week, for your kind of first step of leveling up, if that's what we're going to call this series, is to think about where we're getting in, where we're getting out, doing it more often, doing it more frequently, not forgetting to take your throw bag with you, because that is a critical thing that I was super guilty of when I started paddling a bit harder. I would just hop out on my boat, I'd have my paddle with me. Like, what are you going to do with your paddle? Like, you're walking down the shoreline, what's that useful for? Like, it's way better to have two hands, have your throw bag with you, clip to your life jacket, be ready to actually use it, have two hands so that if you're kind of slipping over, you can pick yourself back up again or stop yourself from falling. So remember to take that with you, and just try and think about making it as smooth and as efficient as possible. Don't lob your paddle up on shore a million miles away. Don't throw your kayak up on shore so it slides back down onto you really fast. Just think about smooth and tight, climbing in, climbing out, not scattering all your things everywhere, not falling into the water like an idiot. Just staying in control of all your stuff and your little zone so that you can become a better team member, because that's what we're going to be building towards a lot through this series, is just being a better team member, and that's going to help you a lot in the long run. And I know it seems like something that maybe isn't going to be helpful, but you'll just have to trust me when I say this is one of those small things that is going to add up to making a big difference. I've got a ton more of these little ideas, like small changes you can make to help practice your way to leveling up, and hopefully I'm going to be able to dish them out over the next few weeks. They're not in any particular order, so if this seems like not the most obvious thing to practice first, the truth is it doesn't really matter which thing you practice first. You just need to start practicing something, and that's going to help you start making those incremental changes until you're suddenly ready to paddle much harder whitewater as part of a team. Alright, hopefully this has been useful. If you think it has and you're excited for more episodes in this series, let me know in the comments below. If not, let me know in the comments below. And either way, I'll speak to you next week. Peace.